The hallway smelled faintly of disinfectant and nerves. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, flickering like anxious thoughts. Emma Rivera, 22, sat outside the university admissions office with a manila folder clutched so tightly in her hands that its corners had bent. Inside were the papers she had rewritten a dozen times. Her appeal letter, transcripts, recommendation forms, and one essay titled, "Why I Deserve a Second Chance." Emma wasn't the kind of student who usually sat outside admissions offices. In high school, she had been the overachiever, honors student, debate captain, the girl who color-coded her notebooks. But after her first year of college, everything unraveled. Her father's sudden illness had pulled her back home, and the months that followed were a blur of hospital rooms, night shifts at a diner, and missed classes. One semester turned into two, and before she knew it, her scholarship was gone, and so was her place at the university. Now, 2 years later, she was back. Older, exhausted, but determined. The secretary called her name softly. "Emma Rivera, you can go in now." The admissions officer, Dr. Nathan Hale, was a man in his 50s with kind eyes that didn't quite match the stiffness of his suit. His office was neat, the shelves lined with framed degrees and motivational plaques. Emma sat down, heart hammering. "I've read your file," he began, flipping through pages. "Your early performance was impressive, but your later semesters," he looked up gently. "You stopped attending classes altogether. Can you tell me what happened?" Emma swallowed hard. She had practiced this answer for days, but the truth still felt raw. "My dad got sick. Cancer. I went home to take care of him. My mom was working 2 jobs. I thought I could manage both, but I couldn't." Dr. Hale nodded slowly. "I'm sorry. That must have been difficult." "It was," Emma said. "He passed away last year. I promised him I'd finish school. That's why I'm here. I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking for another chance to do what I couldn't before." The room was quiet except for the soft hum of the air conditioner. Dr. Hale leaned back, studying her. "You're working now?" "Yes," she said. "At the community center. I teach art to kids after school. It's not much, but it's something." He smiled slightly. "That's more than something." He flipped to the last page, her essay. "You wrote here that you learn more from failure than from achievement. Can you explain that?" Emma hesitated, then nodded. "When everything fell apart, I kept thinking about what I lost, my scholarship, my grades, my place here. But taking care of my dad taught me more about patience, responsibility, and love than any class did. I failed as a student, but I didn't fail as a daughter. And now I think I'm ready to be both." For a long moment, Dr. Hale said nothing. He just looked at her, not as an application, but as a person trying to rebuild a life. Then he set the folder down. "You know, most students who leave never come back. It takes courage to sit in that chair." Emma smiled weakly. "I almost didn't. I can see that." He stood and walked to the window. "The university doesn't often reinstate students after this long, but rules exist to serve fairness, not punishment." He turned back to her, eyes softening. "If you're truly ready to commit, no excuses, no disappearances, I'm willing to recommend your reinstatement." For a heartbeat, Emma couldn't breathe. "You mean I can come back?" He nodded. "On probation for 1 semester. Pass everything, and you'll be fully readmitted." Tears welled in her eyes. "Thank you. I won't waste it." As she left the office, the hallway seemed brighter, as though the buzzing lights had quieted. The manila folder in her hand felt lighter now, almost like a promise kept. Outside, she stopped on the campus lawn, staring at the familiar stone buildings. Students hurried past, some laughing, some buried in their phones, all living lives she had once left behind. For a moment, she felt the old ache of regret. But then, deep in her chest, something shifted. She was no longer the girl who'd walked away. She was the woman who'd come back. That night, Emma sat in her small apartment and spread her papers across the kitchen table. The financial forms, the course lists, the calendar, all the tiny pieces of a second chance. She found her father's old notebook in a drawer, the one he used to write grocery lists in. On the back cover was a quote he'd scribbled once. "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Emma smiled, tracing the words with her fingertip. For the first time in years, she didn't feel like she was catching up to life. She felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be, beginning again.